Yanni.
Another week of top talent taken to the gridiron across South Florida.
The contenders trying to separate from the pretenders. Rivals playing for bragging rights.
The week's best games and, of course, our play of the week. WPBF 25 Football Friday starts right now.
And after 3 weeks of football, including week 0, we're starting to see the cream separate themselves from the rest of the crop. Shane right here along with Yanni Caracas for week 3 of the regular season of Football Friday.
While we're seeing teams starting to separate themselves, there's still time for those teams that had a rocky start to turn things around. One of those teams, Benjamin School, off to their first 0-2 start in 8 years, and they could just as easily be 2-0 if not for some bad bounces and injuries.
That's how football goes, right? The Bucks with a tall task to get that first win tonight against rival Cardinal Newman in our Football Friday Game of the Week. The Crusaders, the number 2 team in our Football Friday Top 10.
We were live at 4, 5, and 6, these two in a 3-team district, so the winner with the inside track on the district title. Bucks playing without star running back Chauncey Bowens out with an ankle injury. Crusaders' first play from scrimmage, getting it to Chris Presto, who continues to make plays for the Newman offense. That drive stalls, while Benjamin's offense now integrating Jacob Cosby-Mosley at quarterback. Check out his moves for the Bucks. Still, this game scoreless in the early going until late in the first quarter. Warnock finding his guy, and it's Presto open in the end zone. 28-yard touchdown. Cardinal Newman up 7-0. Second quarter, Bucks deep in Newman territory. Cosby-Mosley scrambling for tough yards, looking for the first, but he stopped short on 4th down. This game with a lengthy lightning delay right before the half. It'll be finished tomorrow at 5 p.m. with Newman up 7-0 late in the second quarter. TBD, Shane.
That's right. Dwyer at Palm Beach Gardens. Only 4 miles separate the two teams, both trying to improve to 2-1 on this season. We'll pick it up in the first half. Gators with an 11-0 lead, and nothing finesse about this, Yanni. Landon Carr straight up the middle. Dwyer struggled to stop the run in the first. Gators would end up capping off the drive. Carr puts it into drive.
Ooh,
and goes
okay.
straight up the middle. You like that one? He did too. Touchdown. Gardens open up a 17-0 lead. Panthers would try to put together a drive of their own. Derek Flanders, his pass is going to be tipped, but watch Kyle McNeil stays with it and somehow makes an incredible catch for the first down, but that drive would stall. Weird sequence here. 7 seconds left in the half. 4th down for Gardens. They decide to kneel it.
What?
Around their own 30-yard line, so it's a turnover on downs. We're like, what is going on? Dwyer gets the ball. 7 seconds left in the half. They have one play. Flanders just tosses it up. McNeil says, I'll take it for the touchdown. A mistake or a miscommunication ends up costing Gardens. This one, though, called in the third. Gardens winning it 17-6. They escape.
The Jupiter Warriors hosting our number 3 team in the poll. That would be the Martin County Tigers. Tigers in full control in the second half. Denzel Alexander takes the carry, spins, and like the other Denzel, he got game, Shane. Another touchdown for the senior running back, 28-0. Meanwhile, the Tigers defense was stout again tonight, stopping the Jupiter run game. Warriors trying to get something going. Edwin McCain, the big tight end here with a nice grab. Lightning delay late in the third. This game called early. Tigers win 28-0.
Lightning was not our friend tonight. Now to the 8th-ranked Seminole Ridge Hogs hosting Forest Hill. The Hogs with an impressive win at Glade Central to start the season and shut out Royal Palm Beach last week.
The Falcons hoping for a little revenge after losing to the Hawks last season.
That's right. Forest Hill did put up 42 points on Suncoast last week after the defense gave up 40 to Boynton Beach week 1. 0-0 score. Falcons driving. Andrew Davis is going to drop back and go deep down the sideline. Andrew Munoz shows the concentration, makes the catch, goes down short of the goal line. Davis, though, he said, don't worry about that. I got my brother's back. He would do the rest from there. Falcons with a 7-0 lead. The Hawks offense not doing much, so they're going to need a play from their defense, and they get it. They go back and sack the quarterback and strip him. Azaria Alvin picks it up, and here we go. We've got a foot race to the end zone. He does not quite get there, but he's down inside the 5-yard line. That's a good place to be. The Hawks would eventually punch it in on the very next play. It's a 7-6 ball game after the mixed extra point, but have no fear. The Hawks have a pretty good field goal kicker. Owen Holowecki would nail it And that would be your eventual game winner. Seminole Ridge, the defensive battle, they get the win 9-7.
Number 9, Jensen Beach tweeted out, business as usual, hashtag built for this as they travel to Wellington tonight. Turned out to be a rather unusual game. Do we have the highlights of this one?
It's there somewhere. There we go.
The heroes tonight, Shane, coming on special teams. Kickers need love too. In the second half, Wellington punting from deep in their own territory. Jensen Beach return man bouncing outside. He shrugs off a tackle, makes a few other defenders miss, picks up a block, and outruns the rest of the Wolverines into the end zone. What a play. The Falcons get the ball back, looking to break a 14-14 tie, but Wellington safety Sean Raymond showing off his hands with this incredible one-handed pick. He doesn't even need gloves. Late in the fourth now, Wolverines forced to punt again. Falcons special teams unit coming up with a huge block to set them up in the red zone. So that sets up this. Just over 30 seconds left in this game, a field goal to win it.
The drama.
Right down the middle, 17-14
yeah.
Falcons win. This one going into the final seconds. What a finish.
Yeah, after winning just 3 games since 2018, West Boca off to a 2-0 start playing at St. Andrews tonight. We'll pick it up in the first possession for the Bulls. A big freshman running back, Javarian Mallory. He says, get my name right, man. Come on. They strip the ball in the scrum there, and the Scots say they have it, and they do. A quick turnover for St. Andrews. Ensuing possession, Jacob Cashion over the middle to Luke Noble. Nice pitch and catch for the first down. A few plays later, Cashion straight cash, homie. Quarterback draw up the middle for the easy touchdown. Scots strike first, and they strike often. St. Andrews wins 42-7.
Boca Bobcats shut out Key West last week. Tougher test tonight at Boynton Beach. 7-7 game to start the second quarter. Boynton on the 1-yard line. They keep it sweet, simple and sweet. Tyrone Smith sneaks it in, extra point miss. Tigers lead 13-7. The Boynton defense would hold on and give the offense back the ball. Mark Arcelin takes the handoff, but he's hit hard and fumbles the football. West Boca recovers, going the other way. The rain would start to fall. Boca's chance. Rootson still decides to go in the air. The pass over the middle, caught by Sebastian St. Louis for the first down. This game called at half with Boca up 14-13. They continue this game tomorrow at 6:30.
Still a lot to get to coming up after the break. A big top 10 matchup between Point St. Lucie and Vero Beach. And fourth-ranked Palm Beach Central tries to leave nothing to chance against Park Vista. WPBF 25 Football Friday, Week 3 returns. Well, the buzzsaw that is Vero Beach, the #1 team in our Football Friday top 10, have outscored their first two opponents. This is comical right here. 78-6.
Just crushing teams. The question is, would they get a challenge tonight from a Port St. Lucie team that knocked off the defending state champion from Colorado last week? The Jags, number 7 in our top 10 poll, but shut out 35 Love the last time these two teams played in 2020. In this game, at a similar script, first quarter we go, Quincy Rogers slices through the Port St. Lucie defense for the rushing touchdown to get them on the board. Then how about Vero going for it on 4th and 5 from their own 28? Hey, when you have Travius Jacobs, that's what you do, Shane. The Florida State commit down the sideline, 72 yards to the house. Vero up 13-0. Then second quarter, quarterback Tyler Aronson rolling out. He finds Dre for his second touchdown of the game. Vero Beach, 62-0 over Port St. Lucie.
Palm Beach Central new head coach Kevin Thompson has the Broncos not missing a beat from last year. They're at Park Vista tonight. We'll pick this one up late in the first half. Broncos already up big, 25-7 when Ahmad Haston looks deep. But Devin Connolly is there to break up that pass. He says, "Nuh-uh, not so fast." Moments later, though, Haston, the UMass commit, decides to keep this one himself, leaving nothing a chance, weaving through defenders. The ball pops free, though, but Central maintains possession, and that enables Haston to finish the drive off. So strong, so fast. That's why he's going to play on the next level. He scores another touchdown for the Broncos. They win easy, 42-7.
All right, Somerset Academy off to a 2-0 start, playing at Kings Academy. The Lions 1-1. First half of this one, Somerset down 16-0, trying to get something going. David Duong on the carry. He runs hard to give Canyons the first down, and David will get up and provide that first down motion. Later in the drive, Somerset looking to get on board. Looking end zone, Jermaine Council has other ideas. Tremendous interception in the end zone. He'll return it for the Lions as Kings led in this one prior to, you guessed it, another lightning delay.
Treasure Coast 0-2 after playing two tough games. Titans on the road at Seminole tonight. Knowles would get going early. It's going to be Luke Rucker for the home team up there in Seminole. We'll look to air this one out into the end zone, and that will find the hands of Darren Lawrence, who goes for the first touchdown of the night, makes it look easy. Seminole is on top. The Knolls will go for two, but can't get it. Corey McIntyre, watch this, just bulldozes his way straight up the middle, 24-yard pickup. They'd score in that possession, but Treasure Coast can't get the job done. They lose 41-22. They're 0-3.
And Treasure Coast on to American Heritage Delray hosting Avant-Garde, and this one all Sharks. Marquise Wright evading the Stallions' pressure, going deep to Kevin Blount Sr., who gets away from the defense, and he scores. A lot of that tonight, more from the road team. Wright swings it out to Blunt again. This time he goes untouched into the end zone. Avant-Garde goes on to win easily over American Heritage 62-16.
Now we're going to leave you tonight with our play of the week, and it comes from Wellington, punting from deep in their own territory. Jensen Beach returning, man bouncing off tacklers, and he would shrug off a couple. I guess we don't see it. We'll see you next week.